Stephen registered, and as I said earlier, he's an author and a poet. He's also a veteran, and we're going to talk to him and find out some things about him. I'm meeting him for the first time too, so let's welcome to the show Stephen registered.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Welcome, buddy.
Thank you.
First of all, let's get some background. Where are you from?
Well, I was born in Fort Walton Beach, Florida. I spent some time in Alabama.
Yeah. Bad place, ain't it?
Sure. And then I spent most of my life in Nashville.
The book was written about your experiences in life and your time in Iraq. Is that's probably an awakening for a young man?
Oh yeah. I was watching a show the other night that said the quote was, "In war, the things that matter in life become very, very clear." And I think that's going to be true for anybody who goes to war. And when life and death is put directly in your face, it's all around you. And
so did you stay in Iraq more than Kuwait, or back and forth, or what?
We mobilized in Kuwait, and we rolled up into Baghdad. I was in Baghdad, in southwestern Baghdad, just a couple of miles from the airport, for about 14 and a half months. So that was the majority of my deployment, was in Baghdad.
Was that the beginning of the war?
It was right after the initial push, after the 101st and all those guys rolled up into, in the 82nd, after they rolled up into Baghdad, we were a couple of months behind them.
Oh, meantime.
Yeah.
Just one word, meantime.
Uh-huh.
And I asked you before the show, is that meantime, is it based on mean, like it was mean times, or in the meantime? And what was your answer on that?
Well, it's both, really. I had a basic training. My basic training captain gave me a story one time when we were graduating, and he said, you know, war is 99% downtime and 1% just absolute chaos. The subtitle of my book is The Aesthetics of Soldiering. So sort of a lot of what my book tries to do is to examine through the artist's mind what it means to be a soldier. And my last chapter is actually called Performance. Wow. It's what you really do on stage when you're being a soldier, not just preparing for it,
right,
not just talking about it or planning, but being a soldier. So I write it as a soldier, as if soldiers reading it would understand it. And I write about my experience as truly and clearly as I can. And I hope it's something that they can empathize with and they can identify with. And ultimately, also, I would like to encourage soldiers to tell their stories, because I think it's very important. I mean, that's a really important moment. It's when we're in basic training and they're teaching us what it means to fight with a bayonet, and to have that distance removed of shooting the enemy, to be up close. The drill sergeant's really explaining ultimately the type of situation that we may be put in. We may be pitted face to face with an enemy that has a knife or something, and it's either them or us. And this is the type of attitude that you have to have when you end up in that situation. I mean, ultimately, basic training is preparing you the best it can for that chaos that war is. That it's very, very difficult to ever imagine.
Are you going to have this book out for sale?
It's coming out March 15th.
All right, when you do, promise me you'll come back here.
Oh, certainly, absolutely.
I got you on tape, didn't I?